Hey everyone, you're tuned in to Not Speeding, Just Qualifying with Renee Washington.
Hop in, buckle up, and get ready to lay it on the line. This is Not Speeding, Just Qualifying, a podcast that's just as fast as it sounds. What's up, family? I'm David Lawrence. Welcome to the Not Speeding, Just Qualifying podcast. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Before we get started, if you're not subscribed to us, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, hit the subscribe button. And if you don't know where that is, just find us on YouTube or YouTube Music, Not Speeding, Just Qualifying. I promise it's not that hard to find. Just search us. You'll get there. I have a very unique episode today and a very special guest with me to help break it down. Formula One, for those who don't know, is in the last week of its season as we're recording this episode. And just a couple of weeks ago, Formula One was in Las Vegas for their third race of the season, Las Vegas Grand Prix. And I have a guest who was on the ground for more than just Formula One, but we'll get into that a little bit later. To intro my guest, she truly is Black Girl Magic in human form. I'm not going to kid y'all. She's a Hall of Fame collegiate athlete, a TV host and reporter for outlets such as Front Office Sports, MSG Networks, ESPN, and NBC Sports, just to name a few. She's a speaker and a model. When I say, I'm literally like, what can she not do? But without further ado, it's my honor to welcome to the Not Speeding, Just Qualifying podcast, Miss Renee Washington. Renee, thanks for joining me today. Thank you so much for the time. Pleasure to meet you. How are you today, ma'am?
I'm great, David. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the incredibly kind intro as well, and I'm thrilled to be here to talk with you.
Awesome. To open up, I did a little digging on your IGs. And I saw once upon a time you had a little thing for motorsports. You had a motorsports weekly show. So I want to tie all that into my opening question. Where did your love for sports come from? How did you get to where you are? And how did that motorsports show go that you had once upon a time?
Oh, honestly, this question could take the entire show in itself to answer. I will say my sports background began as a player. So as you mentioned, just playing soccer and having a chance to play collegiately and play at LaSalle University in Philly as a three-time All-American. I've been inducted into a few Hall of Fames since retiring, had a chance to play some professionally, coached Division I soccer at Lehigh University. So my sports background is truly as a player and as a coach. In addition to playing soccer, I played basketball, I ran track, and I honestly tried every sport, but those are my best sports. So my love for sports didn't start just as a broadcaster. It started as someone that was born and raised in a true sports family where everybody around me played college or professional sports, basketball, football, track, soccer, whatever it may be. So for me, after I was done playing and retiring, I was transitioning into, at that time, public relations, as that's what I studied for my undergrad degree. But I was also getting my master's degree, and I was really just truly in that period of figuring out who I was outside of being just an athlete. And so as I really took a step back and looked at everything, I recognized it was sports reporting. I enjoyed talking sports. I enjoyed the chaos. I enjoyed the everyday being different and all the ups and downs and being connected to sports and being able to bring my perspective as a high-level athlete and coach into it. And so one of the things I've always prided myself on is covering every sport. And when I had an opportunity, that was very early in my career. That was like my second or third job that I had in the industry, where I was working in South Jersey, a local news station, and I was covering news as their MMJ, going out on the scene with my camera, shooting, editing, doing interviews, doing stand-ups, but I was also hosting the racing show there. And so, as you mentioned, it was a weekly racing show. I was on the track. It was everything from any type of motorsports. So motorcycles, karts, drag racing, you name it. I was right there on the track doing the interviews, doing the show. So it was really cool just to have a chance to see what the different types of cars and different types of races. And there's so much to motorsports, an incredible community of people. And it was my chance to really dive into learning about it from, honestly, from the ground of being there day in and day out at the different tracks in Jersey. So I've always had a love for like NASCAR and motorsports because of that. And just because I had a chance to be there, when a car's going 0 to 300 miles per hour in a matter of seconds, and you're standing there while the engine's rumbling, the heat from it, the exhaust and everything, there is nothing like that with the crowd screaming all around. So I definitely had an experience in motorsports that I now still carry with me to this day, to be honest.
Wow, that is so cool. I love how, and because, and what's funny, people kind of don't realize Jersey kind of has this huge racing scene, but Martin Truex Jr., former NASCAR champion, he's from Mayetta. I interviewed earlier this year LeVar Scott, who's also a South Jersey guy, and how his family also was huge in the sport. So I loved and really learning from LeVar, I didn't realize how big the racing scene in Jersey was. So you guys have truly got me hooked on it. I definitely got to make sure I find more tracks the next time I get the Atlantic City way. So Renee, I brought you on the show today because I love to highlight women's initiatives in sports, especially ones that also tie auto racing into it. I mentioned the Las Vegas Grand Prix at the start of the episode. You had the opportunity to host a panel on women driving the future in sports during the Las Vegas Grand Prix weekend. You had the opportunity to host a panel. Tell us about the panel and what was like some of the takeaways you had from hosting the panel as a whole.
Well, it is interesting that you bring up even my past because I've also interviewed and met LeVar Scott, and I've seen all the different types of like stock car and drag and Formula One and NASCAR and just the evolution of motorsports truly. And so to be able to have an opportunity to be in Vegas for the Grand Prix was incredible. The event itself that I was a part of, that I was fortunate to host, was an event with Female Quotient, who is, as you talk about highlighting women, doing a tremendous job of just creating a space for amplifying, promoting women in business, not even just in sports. So any type of, sports tech, any aspects of business as well, just women that are doing some incredible things. And so I was blessed because I had a chance to be on the first panel. And for me, it was a matter of setting the tone. It was Female Quotient. They were working alongside of F1 Academy, who's also been doing a great job of just creating these spaces that are needed for women in motorsports, because it's not, as we know, it's not easy. There's a lot that still needs to be done. There's a lot that still needs to change. And so my whole conversation was around the women that are driving the future of sports. So it was an incredible panel to be able to sit alongside so many talented individuals. I mean, I had fresh off of winning a WNBA championship with the Las Vegas Aces. You had Nikki Fargas, the president. You had the CEO and co-founder of Angel City FC and Julie Ehrman, and then as a F1 Academy partnership event, of course, Susie Wolf, who's the managing director of F1 Academy. So just a tremendous conversation around how they're individually within basketball, soccer, and motorsports, creating spaces to highlight, invest, and make sure that women in sports is not just a moment, but truly a movement. And so being at that event and seeing, we had over 1,500 people there. It was crowded, shoulder to shoulder, an incredible event of games and drinks and hors d'oeuvres and people and networking and panels, and just fantastic, as Female Quotient put it together, of just being able to kick off the Grand Prix and everything around F1 in such a tremendous way for me. So it was an honor to be a part of, to be able to like fly out to Vegas, to be a part of anything around the Grand Prix and around F1, especially an event like this.
Round of applause to Female Quotient. Absolutely. I love how, even in the details, I love how Female Quotient really brought all these sectors together. NWSL, WNBA. By the way, Aja Wilson was also part of the F1 Academy series. She actually dropped the checkered flag on the season finale on Saturday evening. F1 Academy, the all-female women's feeder series. All the F1 teams basically have development drivers, female development drivers. They all race in equal platforms. And outside of the teams, they actually have sponsors such as American Express. Visit Las Vegas actually sponsored one of the wild cards for one of the Las Vegas natives. If I remember correctly, my mind may get a little butchered on that, but just to see that ground level work on the championship is so cool, and I love it. Miss Dorian Penn was the champion for this season, and speaking of, that also has a little bit of a Susie Wolf note because someone very close to her just so happens to run Mercedes, the team that sponsors Dorian. If you come across this, hello, Toto. But with that being said, did you get to experience the rest of the F1 weekend? And if so, tell us about it. What was your experience like from the weekend?
Yeah. Honestly, it was a lot. Las Vegas was crowded, was booked. It was hard to get around anywhere. There were what I loved about everything that F1 did was just to create this space that it was like FOMO had to be there. Everyone and everybody was there. That was big time. As you mentioned, like someone like Asia Wilson waving the flag, but then you also see her hugging Beyonce and Jay-Z there, Beyonce in the fits, representing and supporting Lewis Hamilton. You see these moments of like all these different celebrities that were there. And I was just kind of a sponge taking it all in. This was my first time being at the Grand Prix. So I'm not going to lie, it was absolutely overwhelming. I was able to go to a couple of other events. I was able to check out the race from like the streets from like a spot that I mapped out. Next time I need to get even more immersed into it. But I was like, let me just take my time and enjoy, being here and being in Vegas in the time. So it was a lot of the beyond even just the race itself and everything people saw, the historic ratings and stuff that we saw around F1. It also had incredible after parties, events, networking events, brunches, like you name it. There was so much going on, and it was like a lot happening all over Vegas. So I did have a chance to enjoy all the extra around it as well, because I got to give it to the Grand Prix. They did a really good job of putting together a beautiful, beautiful event. I mean, the Sphere itself, amazing. I was watching the little details they got right. And I think for this being like their third event they've tried to host, they found the ways to incorporate celebrities, FOMO experiences, activations, and create the vibe that's necessary around elevating it as an event that's like an A-list event that everyone wants to be at.
That is so cool. I love giving everybody those chances to kind of like hear it straight from the ground. And it's like, you really, when I tell people you can't come to races, you can watch it on TV as much as you want, but you have to go to them to get them justice. One of my favorite races is the Daytona 24 hours. I definitely highly recommend it for you, Renee, if you get a chance to come down to Daytona in January. It is such an awesome experience because honestly, they give you more access than F1 do. But for Formula One, yes, is like you said, it's VIPs, it's big bucks, it's an experience, and what people kind of don't wrap their head around is the experience that you have to have. And I gotta ask this question while it's fresh in my brain. Outside of the panels you participated in with Women Driving the Future, what was your favorite event out of everything that you mentioned? What was your favorite event to be around during the weekend?
Oh, that's a tough one. Honestly, I don't know. I would say one of the greatest things was actually just being able to kind of like walk the strip and being like, I've been to Vegas before. And so to be able to now see it transformed into a Formula One space, like to be honest, beyond the events themselves, it was just that opportunity, like to see all that was done, like I went to like an advertising week event and just different things, and everybody had their authentic touches of Formula One, but it just really transformed Vegas from being like the Las Vegas to being the place of, the home of Formula One. And so to be honest, like I'm not one that's very big on even like those big celebrity moments. It's the little things for me. And to see families and fans and celebrities all in one space, just walking the streets, going from spot to spot like that, it was incredible. So I would honestly say it's not even one specific event. It was just the atmosphere of like, all are invited, all are included. We're going to have fun. We're all here. Like everybody that was there was like, oh, what are you here for? What are you here for? Like, we know why you're all here. It's like the Spider-Man meme. And so it was just like that cool moment of like bringing together so many different people. And Formula One's been actively trying to become more diverse and welcoming and reach a whole different audience, whether it's age, race, whatever, women, whatever it may be. And it felt like that was a massive step in the right direction, just being there, seeing it firsthand.
I know critics have their words and their say, but you also just have to take it for what it is. Once you finally are in the space and you finally get that opportunity, you kind of see like, yeah, it's like, even I think the critics can be turned into the biggest fans at times. And I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you this. Is there a particular driver? I think I know where I might go with this, but is there a particular driver that won you over?
No, I actually am extremely unbiased when it comes to racing. You know, do I have the Lewis Hamiltons and Max and different people that I recognize and support and like to see? Yes, but I've been able to interview a lot of drivers over the years, current and former, you know, Hall of Fame legendary drivers, and I think in the racing world I keep myself kind of truly a fan of it all. And one day I will maybe have an answer to one specific person, but as of now, no, I actually do not have a favorite. Why? Who did you think was my favorite?
I ain't gonna lie. I've been a Lewis disciple since day one. So because I actually have a friend. Hey, Brandy, shout out to you. Hopefully you find this episode. But we are huge Lewis fans and have been just going back and forth in our IG DMs, just talking about the season. And I love that for both of us. All
How
right.
could you not be a fan of Lewis Hamilton?
He
Yeah.
is the GOAT for a reason, people. I don't care. You can say whatever you want about modern day. The fact that he has still managed to have success in every form of vehicle that Formula One's thrown out there, you can't dispute that. Say what you want. Say he had this and had that, but if you're gonna go back to every other era of Formula One.
Yeah, he has actually actively brought people into. I mean, he's a reason why people pay attention to Formula One, and that in itself is valuable. I mean, if you ask people to name drivers, who's your top racers, Lewis Hamilton's brought up. I mean, he's the reason. I mean, you look at Beyonce. I mentioned earlier, she's there for Lewis Hamilton. I actually met a lot of people that are rocking Lewis Hamilton jackets, sweaters, hoodies, whatever. He brings fans. So in addition to the actual talents and the accolades and the success he's had on the racetrack, you know, he also is one that is for the culture. He's one that people can connect with and the one that absolutely brings in a whole audience for Formula One and for racing. So absolutely agree with you. And that's why I always feel like, yes, he's probably the most, that I would say is probably the one that I like naturally like and will connect with, but I'm just a fan of it all.
Preach, sister. I love how you brought that home. Yes, he has on the track, but what he's done on the track has led to what he's able to do off it. And that is really a universal story in all of sports. All you have to do is look at LeBron James. Look, and basically you've literally followed a similar platform. And I'm talking about LeBron, and I'm talking about Lewis following LeBron's example, because of course LeBron came first, if we're gonna be real about it. But Renee, before I let you go, I love to do this little segment with my guest. I love to call it a hot lap. I know you might not have gone out into the Mercedes or the Ferrari with Lewis in Vegas like Beyonce did, but I got a little quick hot lap for you right here. 3 questions, rapid fire. I promise I'm not going to do none that's going to put you in a crazy little situation, but they are going to be fun to ask. So if you're ready, here we go. All right, Sector 1. If you let me put Renee in a separate alternative universe. You're not an athlete, you're not on TV, you're not a model. What does Renee do for a living?
I would be a pediatrician or a
Ooh.
lawyer, but I would say a pediatrician.
Come on, pediatrician. We need the doctors out here for these kids. We love it. We love it. We love it. Sector 2. We're in the holiday season now. What is your favorite all-time food to enjoy during the holidays?
I'm a holiday foodie junkie, honestly. It's hard to pick just one. I would say give me the dessert. I love this time of year. It's the pies, the cakes, the cupcakes, the banana pudding. Like that's not even one answer. So I haven't given you a lot of individual answers today at all. I guess I'm gonna go with some sort of a cake, a dessert, a pie. Just dessert. Just dessert. Give me
You know
holiday
what?
desserts.
There you go. I'll take it. I'll take it. Holiday desserts, they always do win. And last but not
Or like
least,
hot chocolate, but it's fine. Okay, now I'm changing my answer because it is
Nah,
also that time of
that's
year.
good.
I
That's
almost
good.
broke down and made a cup of hot chocolate earlier today. I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling it, watching my movies, fireplace going on. It was the hot chocolate. So maybe I'm gonna twist that dessert to just the hot chocolate.
You know what? I'm not even mad, and I will happily accept it. Last but not least, Sector 3. What is the biggest item on Renee's bucket list right now?
Oh, I don't know. Personally, there's a lot, but I think I would say I need to travel to like Europe. I do a lot of traveling, especially whether through work or not through work, and especially pretty like consistently. And I need to see some other places. So I need to do like a nice 2 week, go out to Europe, hop from spot to spot, be in my tourist era, and literally just be like in the culture, immersed in the experience. So I think that's probably like one of the biggest things. But I probably need to like sit down and figure this out because actually I don't know. I'm gonna go that 2 week trip to Europe because it's gonna happen and we're manifesting that.
Hello. Hey, 2026, 2027, we making is happening. I can't help but to ask, on your European adventure, what's your number one city on that list?
Ooh, I've got to go to Rome. I also need to go to Paris, but I'm gonna go Rome because I think that there's a little bit more. Well, they're both beautiful, but Rome, I'm gonna say, needs to be my stop.
Ah, grazie, amici. So, Renee, it's been a blast. I've enjoyed this interview. For those who are listening and want to follow you on your socials and follow your journey, where can they follow you?
I am everywhere. I'm covering anything from curling and Winter Olympic sports to basketball, soccer, baseball, motorsports, you name it. I'm talking it. And I'm easy to find on social media at Renee P. Washington for my various work with ESPN, NBC, and various networks. So ReneePWashington.com is my website. My handles are at Renee P. Washington across TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, everything except for X because my full name does not fit. So I am there as just Renee P. Wash, everywhere else as Renee P. Washington. And David, I really appreciate you so much for giving me time to jump on and chat with you because it's absolutely been a pleasure talking through a lot about the exciting events that happened out at F1.
I am so appreciative to you, Renee, for taking the time. And you are one busy woman, so trust me, whenever I get any guests to come on and take time, especially one with the caliber of your schedule, trust me, I do not take it lightly. Renee Washington, NBC Sports, ESPN, MSG Networks, model extraordinary, Hall of Fame collegiate athlete. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up the show today. If you have a topic or if you know something you want us to talk about on the show, reach out to us. We are at dalmotorsports@gmail.com. The email address again, dalmotorsports@gmail.com. Also, make sure you follow us on our social medias, Instagram, X, Blue Sky, TikTok, Threads. We're all at NSJQ Podcast. And as we mentioned at the start of the show, make sure you subscribe to us at Not Speeding Just Qualifying podcast section of the YouTube Music app or on YouTube itself. Trust me, we got a whole library. We got over 50 episodes. So trust me, if you like something, I'm pretty sure you'll find it there. And last but not least, if you want to follow me on my personal socials, you can find those in the description box to this episode. And you heard Renee, we'll make sure we drop her links down in this episode as well. I'm David Lawrence. This has been Not Speeding Just Qualifying, the podcast that's just as fast as it sounds. We'll talk to you guys next time. And until then, you're not living life to the fullest until you're going flat out. So long, everyone.